Okay, so Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, you and I loved him. I got all, because I love college football, so I got all hooked up on him. And you're like, and I remember this very early. You said Josh Allen's way better. It's not close. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. Well, it's obviously been established. But I will say that some quarterbacks find the right mentor earlier.
Sure.
And it does feel like Liam Cohen has unlocked something.
Yeah.
What does the film say he has unlocked with Trevor Lawrence?
By the way, I'm used to whatever. I got a wife and 2 daughters. I get a lot of whatever. But the point is that I think what you see, number one, you're seeing Lawrence play really decisively. So how does that come about? How does a quarterback go from sort of being stuck too often in the pocket and not seeing it clearly and not being decisive to being decisive? And you've talked about this a lot. I talk about it all the time because I'm such a big believer in coaching. So how does that happen? What does it mean when we say a guy is a good offensive coach? So it starts with how he's taught. Then it gets down to what you see when you watch tape. It comes down to personnel, formations, motions, shift, receiver splits, how you set up routes so that the quarterback can be decisive. Just being decisive doesn't come about because you say, hey, just drop back and throw it. You have to feel good throwing the ball. You have to feel like, hey, I know exactly where I'm going to throw it based on this play call versus whatever the anticipated coverage would be, or if it's pure progression, what my reads take me through. And all of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence looks really decisive throwing the football. So it's a combination of he's got obviously pretty good traits and the fact that Liam Cohen really does a good job. Because don't forget, he came from the Rams. So it's a lot of the Sean McVay stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of teams in the NFL, there's a part of the team, like the Texans defense, that...
All right, let's shift our focus to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've discussed the Texans' defense previously, so now it's time for a shout-out to the Jaguars faithful. I previously mentioned how I went on a whole spiel about needing you all to watch the full videos, subscribe, and engage, because otherwise it can feel like these Jaguar-centric discussions are just echoing into the void. Yet, you keep tuning in. You consistently show up. Because of that, I keep creating content about this team. I feel a sense of obligation to you all. I've produced more Jaguars-related videos in the past couple of weeks than I had in a considerable stretch prior. That's directly attributable to your ongoing support. You're genuinely subscribing, watching the content in its entirety, and engaging with it. It's fantastic, truly. The gratitude you express is also remarkable. Your appreciation for me dedicating time to the Jacksonville Jaguars is overwhelmingly positive. It's just a constant stream of thanks. Are you all the most courteous fan base out there? I recently mentioned I believe the Texans have one of the most relaxed fan communities, but I must concede the Jaguars supporters might be the most polite. There's a palpable sense of gratitude there, and believe me, I am deeply appreciative in return. I cannot thank you enough. Now, I was somewhat surprised that analyst Greg Cosell didn't touch on a particular point when he was discussing offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. What Cohen is accomplishing with Trevor Lawrence is fundamentally about clarity. He is meticulously defining route concepts, explicitly outlining the intent of each play, where the football needs to go, and what the progression reads are. This framework allows Trevor to operate with decisiveness and confidence, elevating his execution level. It's interesting to hear Greg and Colin delve into this, as they are both strong proponents of the impact of coaching. I believe this is an aspect that, especially when you're younger, you tend to undervalue because your focus is so intensely locked on the players. At ages 10, 15, or 20, the players seem magical, capable of feats you can only dream of. If you're lucky enough to play at a high level, you gain exposure to real coaching and realize, oh, this actually matters immensely. However, for many who don't play at an intensely competitive level, coaches are often just parents or volunteers. Improvement comes naturally through experience, physical growth, and getting older and stronger. Consequently, there's a widespread de-emphasis and undervaluation of coaching's true impact. I think it often requires maturity to fully recognize and appreciate its critical importance. It's somewhat fitting that Colin brought up Josh Allen in this context. I don't recall the specifics of that Allen-Lawrence comparison, and frankly, I'm not interested in debating who's better. Let me be clear, I think Josh Allen is a phenomenal talent. But I will state this unequivocally. If you have a quarterback with Trevor Lawrence's innate talent level, and you pair him with a coach I consider to be exceptional, Liam Cohen, the potential for success surpasses what Josh Allen might achieve alone. The synergy of a great coach and a great quarterback is non-negotiable. It must be present. Look at the reason Kyle Shanahan has reached Super Bowls with quarterbacks like Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo. I have news for everyone. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are significantly more talented than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not a controversial take. Yet one configuration reaches the pinnacle and another struggles too. A colossal part of that equation is coaching. Of course, team construction matters, but coaching is monumental, and Jacksonville has secured it. They've landed the crucial piece. I want to tell Jaguars fans, you have arrived. You've done it. It reminds me of a scene from the excellent show Mad Men near its conclusion. The main characters are scrambling, thinking they need to pull off a heroic act to save the agency. Then their boss comes in and essentially tells them to stop. He says, "It's over. You've won. You've arrived. Everything you've hoped for is happening. It's all good." He then proceeds to list the massive, iconic brands they'll be working with, like Coca-Cola. That's the feeling I get with the Jaguars now. The journey has been chaotic. You had coaches touted as saviors who were then fired amid bizarre rumors. You lived through that strangeness. Then Doug Peterson arrived, a Super Bowl winner with Nick Foles, bringing hope. There were moments of promise, then frustration, leading to whispers about his job security, even rumors about being fired in London, just more odd drama. Trevor was there, then injuries struck. And even when healthy, something seemed off. This season started with wins that felt uneasy, coupled with the whole Duval identity that was oddly mocked, something I never understood. But now you have it. You possess the coveted coach-quarterback combination, the duo I consider the most critical element for sustained success in the NFL. This isn't me giving a casual peace sign. This is the foundation. And you have it in year one of this partnership, and it's already yielding significant success. A great deal of the future, however, still rests on Trevor Lawrence's shoulders. It hinges on his work ethic, his humility, and his openness to learning, growing, and evolving. Qualities we can never fully know from the outside. We can speculate, read body language, but we can't be certain. For me, the challenge is mental. The physical tools are undeniable. No one questions Trevor Lawrence's athletic talent. But as long as he maintains that openness and willingness to be coached, the ceiling is immense. This is why an early season moment concerned me. There was a sideline interaction where Liam Cohen was instructing Trevor, essentially saying, "That was the right read, but the type of throw was wrong." I saw Trevor seemingly dismiss the feedback. Some argued it was blown out of proportion, but I disagree. In that moment, the coach was providing a crucial, granular detail, the difference between a completion and an incompletion, between scoring and settling, between being good and being special. That dismissal made me uncomfortable. Because if you have the willingness to truly listen, absorb, and apply what a brilliant coach is teaching, success will follow. That's what allows quarterbacks like Jimmy Garoppolo or Brock Purdy to achieve high levels of success with great coaching. They operate from a mindset of, yes, instruct me, put me in a position to succeed, and I will execute. They are receptive canvases. History shows that such players, when paired with the right schematic mind, often thrive. When you combine that coachable mentality with elite physical talent, you hit a home run. You get partnerships like Reed and Mahomes, Belichick and Brady. It's a formula that goes an incredibly long way. So, I continue to be genuinely excited by that potential in Jacksonville. And I'm telling you now, if that potential is not fully realized, barring unforeseen injuries or front office failures in team building, the primary constraint will be mental. It all boils down to Trevor's mindset. The framework is there, the bones, the structure, the talent. Everything is in place. It simply comes down to how much Trevor Lawrence desires to evolve and grow. If he commits to that process and truly internalizes what Liam Cohen is implementing, the sky is the absolute limit. Those are my extended thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Jacksonville Jaguars and their rather dramatic transformation from a team that elicited a dismissive, "Hey, it's the Jags," to one that now commands respect as a top-tier NFL contender? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, whether you agree or disagree with me. Let's dive into some discussions, even some friendly debates. But ultimately, let's have fun with it. Please consider subscribing. As I've said, we're building a wonderful community here, and I'd absolutely love for you to be part of it. I aim to create something we all feel connected to and excited about. I believe we're well on our way. Also, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely helps with visibility and the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.